Less than 95% of people make money in cryptocurrency, and that's because 95% of people are not paying attention when they need to, and right now is when they need to pay attention because the markets are dead quiet. But they're all looking in the wrong place because the whales are busy accumulating, and this is why we can make the most gains, because everyone isn't looking right now, no one's paying attention. And if you pay attention and stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can win $100 in your favorite cryptocurrency just by hitting that like button. So let's get into it, guys. Now, as we look into this Bitcoin chart, there's a reason that no one's paying attention. This is the fear and greed index. It shows when people are happy, shows when people are pumped that their favorite cryptos are going up, or on the flip side, it shows when things are going down, people are scared that they're going to be losing money. This is a very good indicator. The fact that it is smack bang in the middle as neutral, 51, showing that right now, people are pretty indifferent about what's happening in crypto. And there's a big reason for that. The Bitcoin chart, as you can see, shows a very static movement. It means that over the last few weeks, we have seen lower volume in the Bitcoin price movement than we have over the last 3 years at any point, okay? And that tells us that something very big is on the horizon. Typically, the whales who are accumulating when you're not paying attention are doing so in periods of time like this. Now, they don't pump the price, and many people are like, why does the price not pump if they're loading up, if this is true? Well, guys, if you've ever paid attention to Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, he's talked about in the past how big whales can go and accumulate Bitcoin without really having much impact on the market, and effectively what they're doing is they're buying from other suppliers rather than taking it off of exchanges. Now, this means that the supply level remains roughly the same, and the demand kind of doesn't really get changed either. And you're like, well, how is that doesn't disrupt the supply and demand? Well, okay, let me rewind back a bit. Who do you think controls the market moves? How many times do you see Bitcoin like seeing some like bad news and then it pumps towards the upside, or some good news and it goes the other way? This is happening because the news doesn't really have an impact on the charts. The only thing that has an impact on the charts, ultimately, is the market manipulators moving the price, and they use the news to get you to jump in and either give liquidity to the upside or the downside. Ultimately, they will tend to move against the news because they're just tricking you using the news. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I do believe that the earth is round. Sorry if that upsets you. Hopefully that's not going to make you click off this video. But guys, I do think when we come to crypto, there's just so much room for manipulation. You know, whilst we don't want the SEC to go in and regulate and all these other bits and pieces, it does mean that there is massive room for crazy manipulation to go on that happens all the time. As we look into this Bitcoin chart, we can see a very interesting, not so interesting, falling pattern here, which you can call whatever you want, guys. You can call it a bull flag, you can call it a falling wedge, you can call it a slice of cheese if you want, okay? It doesn't really matter. People get upset sometimes that I use the wrong terms. I don't care, okay? All I can do is work out roughly where I think this is going to go. And this, if you want to call it a bull flag, which you probably should because that's what it is, then you can take the length of the flagpole and bring it to here, assuming that we see a breakout coming relatively soon. And I will show you in a minute a certain catalyst I do believe could be responsible for a theoretical breakout. And actually right now, as we look at where this target would take us, that would see Bitcoin climbing to around $36,400, which you probably think does right now doesn't feel that likely, 24% push. And why it's important that we pay attention to Bitcoin is that the likes of XLM, XTC, HBar, you name it, guys, the ones that you are loving right now, your favorite little Moonboy cryptos, they will all absolutely pump towards the upside if Bitcoin breaks this barrier, because this is the last leg, okay? This leg will tell us that we are in a bull market. It will convince the bears that we're in a bull market, because right now the bears are like, oh, we're going to roll over and go, you know, for the next 2 years and we're never going to make any money. You know, fair. They might be right, guys, but, you know, they've also missed out on this entire move this year where Bitcoin's up like 70%. So, yeah, whatever. Come at me. But if we look at another few metrics here, we can look at Bitcoin charts, and there are obviously Bitcoin charts that point us in the other direction. But let's pay attention to this, guys. We got the fact we have a move in the upwards direction. We are in an uptrend. An uptrend has higher lows and higher highs. Now, this high is ever so slightly higher than this high, but this low is more likely, is definitely above this one, okay? We are also finding support on this bar here. We have bounced, and we are in a bullish pattern. Look what happens every time we get in these patterns, we break towards the upside. And you know, it's happening time and time again, okay? from now, it does appear that we are going to have another leg up, especially when you look on the wider, longer time frames. Here, if you zoom out to like the weekly time frames and monthly time frames, you can see the 200 weekly moving average is crossing down below the 50-week moving average. This is incredibly bullish, but it does take a little bit longer to play out on these type of charts than it does on shorter time frame charts, which is why you may not see the ultimate results coming from these right away. But there is some piece of news right now that's looming that, you know, there isn't much else out there. You go to the news channels and there is literally no decent news that you think has the ability to swing the charts one way or the other. Which means because it's so quiet right now, something has to come out of the blue and completely surprise us, take us by storm, that's suddenly going to shift the markets in one direction or the other. And there is one thing that I think has the ability to do that is looming and being talked about quietly across the entire market. And it's this. Next week or next year, shifty deadline looms for a spot Bitcoin ETF, exchange traded fund. There is a number of companies right now, ranging from BlackRock to Charles Schwab and some of the other world's leading financial organizations, trying to create what's called a Bitcoin ETF, which is an exchange-traded fund. Now, in order to actually actively trade a Bitcoin directly, it's very difficult for these big organizations to do it because it's not regulated. However, they can do it through an ETF or an exchange-traded fund, which will basically be like trading the Bitcoin price, but through a stock that runs on the US stock markets and various others around the world, once approved in different countries. They already exist in Canada, but you know, they're looking for the big one, the big money one, which is in the US. Okay, if that happens, then it's like basically a rocket up Bitcoin's ass. Okay, it's going to be very exciting. And right now, because we don't have a huge amount of information in one direction or the other, you know, we could either have some cataclysmic like, oh, suddenly KuCoin's going under, or suddenly this has happened, or suddenly this has happened. I don't think KuCoin's going to go under before you get all panicky, but you know, this is crypto, you never know. Keep your money on a hard drive. But actually, you know, anything could happen right now. What I'm thinking is that we are running low on time for a decision to be made in the Bitcoin price when we look at the charts and where we are right now. And I think what that really means for us is that we are going to see a decision coming on this ETF very, very soon, in my opinion. And when that drops, you better be ready, guys, because many people are not ready. And when people are not paying attention, that's when you want to be paying attention, because that is what the smart money does. It doesn't get caught up with all the other sheep out there. Be a wolf, do your own thing, or at least join a wolf pack of other like-minded individuals and think about what's going on. Now, obviously, guys, I could be absolutely wrong. Bitcoin could obviously dive towards the downside. There's nothing to stop that happening. But, you know, I always talk about DCAing in, dollar cost averaging in. When the prices are low, that's obviously not financial advice. You need to do your own research on that. But that's how you gain exposure. You know, all those people are like, oh, well, Bitcoin is not ready to go down yet. Or Bitcoin is not ready for a bull market. They were saying that like down here, and they were probably saying that like up here. And then, you know, they're still probably saying it. We're currently 77% up. If we get up there, we're going to be 123% up this year on Bitcoin, while all the bears are still telling you that we're waiting for, you know, the Black Swan event or whatever to happen. That's true. But personally, I've actually been taking profits already this year. So if it does dump towards the downside, I just get another run of it, another bite of the cherry. Even better, okay? So when the markets are down here, you know, when we know full well that Bitcoin has been up here in the past and the other cryptos are sitting around 20% or 10% of their original value, like the likes of Solana and whatever, then we're sitting looking very pretty. If Bitcoin pumps like this, we're going to see huge pumps in the other cryptocurrencies, and therefore it's definitely somewhere where I would like to be taking exposure to crypto. Do that at your own risk. It's not my money. Go and do your own research. Not financial advice, but I like to be involved in markets when I see good opportunity. Right now, I think we're seeing good opportunity. No one's paying attention. It's a good time for the whales to be loading up and a big pump to come. Now, guys, before I tell you exactly how you can win that $100 giveaway, let's jump across and take a look at today's sponsor, who is a great, the very first Web4 infrastructure for a decentralized internet. They use a DAG consensus, which is not a blockchain. It's similar to what you see in HBar. It's similar to what you are seeing used in Kaspa. But Grape are doing something very interesting. They're targeting towards a GameFi and the metaverse, which I absolutely love, because I know those industries are going to see a huge boom this year into next year for sure. In my opinion, of course, 700,000 transactions per second, one of the best performing ecosystems out there. Very exciting what it can do. And what it's doing is effectively implementing in to the ecosystem, Vine and Ann, which are both AI tools that allow for developers to build onto the Web3 environment. Now, there's many people out there who have great ideas for apps and things like that. I think I am one of those people, but I've never had the knowledge to be able to code them. I've never had the ability to do anything like that. And, typically it can cost thousands and thousands of dollars to build an app. And if you've got a great idea, that's a problem. Great allows people to do that, and that's a very cool thing. They've got a ton of marketing and stuff out there, which is not necessarily a bad thing, guys. It means that just getting a name out there is essential, that new crypto projects do that because it allows lots of people to know who they are. If you go through that link down below and you're interested in picking up Grape, you can do it and you will get an additional 10% by using that link. It's already listed on Bitmarket Exchange at a higher price, so you can get it cheaper on the Grape website, especially through that link with an additional 10%. Bit of a no-brainer in my opinion, but obviously do your own research. Trading crypto is risky and all that jazz. Now guys, as promised, I'm going to be doing a $100 giveaway, not $100,000, not quite yet. Maybe in the bull market, who knows how big we can get, right? But a $100 giveaway for my own personal piggy bank, because we've just reached 35,000 subscribers on the channel, and I want to thank you for your support in doing that. And so I'm going to be giving away $100 in your favorite crypto of choice. All you need to do is leave a comment down below of the coin that you want to receive in cryptocurrency, whether that's Solana, XLM, XRP, Bitcoin, USDT. You can choose whatever, guys. Just leave your comment down below and I will select at random a winner early next week using a randomizing tool if I can find one on Google. And I will also be checking that that person is subscribed. Hit the comments and like the video as well. So you need to be obviously doing that if you want to win $100 from me. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you very soon with another one. Bye-bye.